This is G, H, and I. I actually picked each one of these because they're an example of doing combinations by hand. So this specific expression is actually the combination for C, 5, choose 3, or 5, choose 3. This would be the setup for a scenario where you have 5 choices, and of those 5 you have to pick 3 where order doesn't matter. So this would be the setup for a certain type of word problem. So we're going to simplify any fractions where possible and evaluate. So let's just go ahead and write this out. Actually, the first thing we just want to write out is 5 factorial divided by, and then 5 minus 3 factorial is just another way of saying 2 factorial. Okay. Now that we've simplified that, let's actually just go ahead and write out all the factorial values as the product of terms. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, and 2, 1. And this is all being multiplied together in the denominator. Once we do that, we can simplify our fractions by eliminating common factors, a 3 and a 3, a 2 and a 2, a 1 and a 1. And we're just left with 5 times 4 divided by 2 times 1. 5 times 4 is 20. 2 times 1 is 2. The result is 10. So 5 choose 3 is 10, because like I said, each one of these is actually the setup for a choose problem. I wanted to pick some that would specifically show up in this style in the quiz. Similarly, this is the setup for an 8 choose 4 scenario. You're not required to know that for this section, but I just want to point that out, that for those choose problems, they're going to look a lot like this. So these are particularly good ones to know how to work out by hand. 8 minus 4, that'll be the first thing we simplify. This is 8 factorial divided by 4 factorial, 4 factorial. We can write out 8 factorial as 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All being multiplied together. And then 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's some common factors here. You have your choice. You can do 4 and 4 or 4 and 4. It doesn't really matter. One way or the other, you're going to have 4, 3, 2, 1 left in the denominator and 8, 7, 6, 5 left in the numerator. 4 factorial, 4, 3, 2, 1, we should actually already know what that is. We've used a lot. It's 24. 8, 7, 6, 5 is probably okay to use a calculator to multiply this together once you write it out. We could do it by hand. I do know you guys know how to multiply by hand. But 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 isn't really the purpose of the quiz. So it's okay to cheat on that value. It's 1680. And then what this ends up being is 70. So 70 is the answer to 8 choose 4. And then lastly, pause the video if you want. I would make sure, hey, if I see this, do I actually know what kind of scenario that's answering? So do you know what this is? It is 6 choose 2. So this is actually the specific setup for a certain type of word problem or a certain type of combinations problem. Let's go ahead and simplify the denominator first. This is 6 factorial over 2 factorial, 4 factorial, because 6 minus 2. We can write out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 2, 1, and then 4, 3, 2, 1. This is all being multiplied together. We have some common factors to simplify. And hey, we're just left with 6 times 5, which is 30. 2 times 1, which is 2. And so 6 choose 2 is just 15. Okay. I really think everybody knows exactly what factorial means. The real key is understanding if you have multiple factorial symbols, how you can write them all out and then start simplifying to actually shorten the amount of calculations you have to do in the end. Right? This is a pretty hard value to work out separately, but if we write it out and simplify, hey, we got 6 times 5, that's easy. 2 times 1, that's easy. 30 divided by 2, that's easy. So simplifying the fraction seems like a lot of work at first, but if we're doing things by hand, it really is the easiest way. So that's number 1, which is just working out factorials. Please go over to number 2, where we're going to match up different situations with the calculations that go with them.